Hi, my name is Franco Navarro and I work with Heritage Malta, Education and Outreach, and I'm also an artist. Today I will be introducing to you a Velatura technique. The Velatura is a form of oil paint, oil glazing we use to create layers, so we get a particular realistic effect with oil painting. There are several ways of doing it. One can use, for example, poppy oil, alkyd paint, so you mix your paintings from the tube with alkyd, stand oil, and also you can purchase an already mixed painting medium. But the mixture, more or less, the mixture I'm going to show you and I'm going to introduce you to, is the mixture of linseed oil, which was used particularly a lot during the Renaissance, just like poppy oil, and turpentine. What you need to do to have the mixture ready is to mix 2 parts of linseed oil and 2 parts of turpentine. It's up to you really to choose how to mix it properly, because every artist has her own way of doing it. For example, some artists prefer 2 parts linseed oil and 1 part turpentine, and so on and so forth. So now I will proceed to show you how you can prepare your own mixture. So for the glazing to be more effective, and remember it has to be used on a dry monochrome, already dry finished monochromatic painting, which it can be with earth colors like the old masters used to do it. Most artists from the past did it that way. Or if you're doing it today and you want a more contemporary effect, you can use a monochrome color like a blue, and then go on with complementary colors on it. What it takes is 2 parts of linseed oil. In my case, I'm doing it 2 parts linseed oil, and 2 parts turpentine. For your own knowledge, to do the Velatura, as with any other type of glazing, you can also use just oil and not mix it with turpentine. That would be called oiling in, which is a closer technique to us. Stir with a palette knife, and that's it. Then you apply it over the dry paint. The materials needed for this workshop are
the Florentines quickly mastered oil painting. In fact, it is known that tempera was sometimes used as a base for oil painting. Egg tempera is a very strong medium. There are 2 methods to apply the Velatura, either by mixing or diluting the colors with the glazing medium you created, or by applying glazing all over the painting. Since it creates a veil and underpainting, the grisaille will be visible and you can work the tonal values with ease. In case you make a mistake, example, you cover the underpaint, all you need to do is to swipe the glazing off with a clean cloth or start all over again. These techniques kept on being used and improved up until the 19th century. When trying a new technique that you are not familiar with, choose a simple object so that you do not have to focus on several things all at once. The orange is painted with 𝘨𝘂𝑚𝑏𝑟, which is a warm color. You can either use turpentine or immediately go with the Velatura on a simple small canvas, like this one. Cover all the canvas and paint over it. One can do the oiling in, painting with linseed or poppy oil only. Over the 𝘨𝑚𝑏𝑟, one can put a secondary color like orange. This will give a thin layer of orange and divide the warm from cold on the background. One can mix orange, yellow ochre and vermilion to give another tint and value of the orange. Use 2 brushes, one for cold color, white, black and grey, and one for warm colors, yellow ochres, vermilion red, orange, Naples yellow. If you want to give intensity to your object, Paint it at layers and take breaks between each layer only to add more tonal values with every velatura you apply. This will make a more realistic appearance to your painting. Since the still life in front of us is made up of two warm objects and a cold background, it is very important to tone down with cold color the limestone on which the orange is resting. Thus, since at the moment I am using a limited palette, I will add a bit of Payne's Grey on warm Naples yellow, mixing yellow ochre and white. This will tone down the limestone and the light will fall over the orange once again. Remember, cold colors are meant for shadows, warm for light. At a later stage, when this layer of velatura is finished, start by applying a wider palette. Up until now, this painting was created with limited palette. I am adding ultramarine. The latter was a very expensive color because it was imported from Afghanistan, the famous lapis lazuli. I am also adding cerulean blue. The latter is more for aesthetical purposes. This will also contrast very well with orange and will keep a more realistic effect with the grey.